My beloved child, if one day the old shadows find their way back, if fragments of memory you thought had fallen asleep suddenly awaken and whisper that you were once forgotten, once overlooked, once set aside as something not worth keeping, then pause beneath my light. Do not be quick to believe the voices born from wounds. Do not let the moments when you were rejected become a distorted mirror that causes you to see yourself falsely. What defines you is not the person who turned away, not the door that closed, not the promise someone made that faded with the years. What defines you is that I have called you, chosen you, and placed upon you a seal no one can erase. You were not created from human approval, so you cannot be destroyed by human coldness. Your worth is not suspended from the gaze of others. It is held in my unwavering sight. The gaze that saw you before you even knew how to call yourself by name. There are people who only see you for a season, then leave when they can no longer understand the path I am leading you into. There are people who once promised to stay, but when the wind changed direction, they quietly withdrew. There are eyes that were once warm and then became unfamiliar. Words that once gave you hope, and in the end, left only emptiness behind. I know those things touched a very deep place within you. I know you once asked yourself, was I not good enough? Am I too difficult to love? Is there something in me that makes others unable to stay? But my child, hear me with all the tenderness that remains in your heart. Their departure is not a sentence over you. Their silence is not the measure of your value. Their indifference cannot cancel the word I have spoken over your life. When others no longer see you, I still see you. When they no longer call your name, I still call you. When they no longer remember what you once gave, I still record every quiet act of love, every tear no one knew about, every time you chose kindness even while your own heart was hurting. So when old memories pull you back into rooms of self-blame, do not remain there too long. Open the door for my light to enter. Let me remind you that you are not a child forgotten outside the house, but a beloved one held by me in a covenant of love. You are not an excess piece in someone else's story. You are a precious part of the plan. I am writing with wisdom and mercy. Perhaps the world once misunderstood you, but I understand you. Perhaps you were judged through seasons of weakness, but I see the whole journey you have walked. Perhaps they only remember the moments when you stumbled, but I remember the times you quietly stood up, brushed the dust from your knees, wiped away your tears, and continued walking toward the light. Remember the story of Hagar in the wilderness. The woman pushed out from the place that had been familiar, carrying her little child and a water skin that was running dry. Before her was burning sand. Behind her was a house that no longer had room for her. And within her was the pain of someone who thought she had been excluded from every promise. When the water was gone, when the cry of the child rose in a deserted place, she thought everything had come to an end. But I saw her there. I heard that cry. I opened her eyes so she could see the well nearby, the very thing despair had hidden from her. Do you see? Even in the place where others pushed her away, I was still able to reveal my care. Even when you think you have been abandoned in the wilderness, I still know exactly where you are. And often, what you need is not for me to create a new source of water far away, but for me to open your eyes to recognize the source I have already placed near you. In the same way, my beloved child, when old memories tell you that you have been forgotten, remember that I am the one who sees you in the wilderness. I do not only see you when you are strong, when you sing, when you lift your hands in radiant faith. I also see you when you sit in silence, when your prayer is caught in your throat, when you no longer have the strength to explain your pain to anyone. I do not distance myself from the days when you are weak. I am not ashamed of the cracks within your heart. It is precisely in those places that I enter with tenderness. not to condemn, but to heal, not to remind you of failure, but to show you that my love does not shrink when you are broken. My love is not like the wavering love of the world, close today and distant tomorrow. My love is steadfast like the dawn, quiet yet certain, needing no display and yet awakening every darkened place. Therefore, learn to speak to yourself with words that come from truth, not from wounds. When old memory says, "You are not worth staying for," answer, "I have been kept by the Father." When rejection says, "You are not precious enough," remember that I have called you mine. When loneliness says, "No one understands you," place your hand upon your chest and know that I understand even the things you have not yet spoken aloud. When those who once left become shadows in your memory, let me become the greater light in your present. You do not need to deny that you were hurt. Healing does not force you to pretend you were never wounded, but healing will teach you not to let pain sit on the throne of your life. I am the one who holds that throne. I am the final voice over you. I am the firmest source of confirmation concerning your sacred identity. From the place of healing, continue onward with a courage that does not need to be loud. Courage is not always a shout rising in the middle of a crowd. Sometimes courage is waking after a long night and still choosing to believe that the new day carries blessing. Courage is when you do not close the door of your heart simply because someone once entered and hurt you. Courage is when you still choose love without losing wisdom. Still choose gentleness without allowing yourself to be trampled. Still choose hope without denying the lessons of the past. I do not want you to become hardened because of what has happened. I want you to become deeper, wiser, softer in my hands, able to love with a pure love while also walking within the boundaries of peace. Let the words you speak from now on carry the fragrance of restoration. Do not speak about yourself as one who has been defeated. Do not tell your story as though the painful chapter were the final chapter. Do not let your lips repeat the judgments others placed upon you when they could not see the truth. Speak as one whom I have lifted up. Speak as one who knows they are loved before anyone else recognizes them. Speak as one who has passed through fire and has not lost the light. Your words can become water that nourishes the dry places within you again. Every time you choose to speak truth instead of self-condemnation, you are cooperating with me in the work of healing. Every time you call yourself by the names I call you, you are removing another old garment of shame and clothing yourself in the dignity I have given. My beloved child, what I place in your heart today is not a thunderbolt meant to make you tremble, nor a heavy rebuke to weigh down shoulders that are already weary. Listen with a tender heart, for my word comes to you like the hand of a father resting gently on the shoulder of the child he loves, drawing you back before you step too close to the edge. I do not warn you because I want to frighten you, but because I love you with a pure love, a love that does not demand, does not bargain, does not seek its own advantage. I love you too much to remain silent when I see beforehand the things that could wound you. I love you enough to stop you, even if in that moment you do not understand, even if you may think I am delaying you, hindering you, taking away something you desire. But my child, there are restraints that are mercy, doors that close because they are protection, and small reminders that become silent shields, guarding you from what you are not yet strong enough to recognize. You are standing in only a very small part of the present. You see one stretch of road, one face, one opportunity, one emotion that has just risen within you. And from that, you can easily think you understand the whole story. But I see farther than your eyes can see. I look through the mist of emotions, through beautiful words that may not be lasting, through sweet promises that have no root in truth. I see the beginning, the turning points, and what lies hidden behind choices that seem harmless. Because I am above time, not bound by today or tomorrow. When I speak to you, it is not a hurried reaction to circumstance, but guidance flowing from complete understanding. I do not lead you by impulse. I lead you by truth. I do not depend on your changing emotions to decide the path. I place light before you, so you may know where to walk, where to stop, where to turn back, and where you must have the courage to leave. So when a reminder comes to you, do not treat it as something small that can be ignored. It may be only a slight uneasiness in your heart, a sentence that suddenly awakens you, a strange delay, a door that does not open though you have tried many times, a lack of peace in the middle of something that outwardly appears reasonable. These things are not always loud, but often it is through such gentleness that I place a lamp before your feet. I do not always use a great echo to call you. Many times I only whisper in the secret place, because I want you to learn to distinguish my voice among the many voices of the world. If you become accustomed to chasing what excites your heart while ignoring deep peace, you will easily step into places that are bright on the outside, but dark within. If you listen only to what your emotions want to hear, you will miss what I am patiently pointing out in order to protect you. Remember the story of Balaam, who set out on the path his heart desired. Even though I placed signs of restraint along the way, the donkey beneath him saw what he did not see. So it stopped, turned aside, and then lay down, causing him to grow angry because he thought his path was being blocked without reason. But ahead of him was danger his eyes had failed to recognize. Do you see? Sometimes I allow something very humble, very small, even very frustrating, to stand in front of you, not to humiliate you, but to save you. Sometimes delay is an angel in disguise. Sometimes inconvenience is offensive grace. Sometimes the thing that irritates you today will be the very thing you thank me for tomorrow. Because through it, you did not rush into a place that could have confused your life, cooled your heart, and drawn your steps away from the purpose I appointed for you. I know you have desires that are very real. I do not despise what you are waiting for, nor do I overlook your tears when you must wait longer than you wanted. But desire, no matter how sincere, must still be placed beneath my light. Not everything that moves your emotions comes from me. Not everyone who makes you feel noticed is someone I have sent. Not every opportunity that opens quickly is a door of blessing. There are things that arrive like honey but leave bitterness behind. There are roads that begin smoothly, but the farther you walk, the more they cause you to lose purity, peace, and obedience. That is why I remind you not to take joy away from you, but so your joy will not be built on a fragile foundation. I want blessing to come to you in health, in order, in light, so that when you receive it, you do not have to trade away the peace I have preserved for you. Every word I speak to you is a thread in the protective net I am weaving around your life. You may not yet see the shape of that net, but it still exists. A warning today can save you from a wound tomorrow. An urging to turn back can keep you from a choice you would regret. An invitation to be silent, to pray, and to wait can help you recognize what haste would conceal. Do not see obedience as a chain. My child, obedience in me is the gateway into freedom. When you allow me to guide you, you do not lose yourself. You return to the person I created you to become. When you lay down your own will, you do not become small. You become steadier, because you are no longer dragged about by every wave of emotion. If you keep walking according to your limited understanding, you will gradually move away from the safe place I have prepared. Not because I abandon you, but because you choose to walk out from under my voice. I still love you, still watch over you, still stand ready to reach out and draw you back. But I do not want you to learn through wounds, if you can learn through listening. I do not want you to pass through painful cycles, simply because you treat my reminders lightly. There have been times when you sensed in your heart that something was not right, but you reassured yourself that everything would eventually be fine. There have been times when you heard a gentle call telling you to stop, but you continued because you feared missing out. There have been times when you noticed small signs that something was wrong, but covered them with hope of your own making. Today, I do not bring this back to condemn you, but to make you wiser, more watchful, and more tender toward my guidance. Return to the simplicity of heart where you do not need to win an argument with me. Do not need to prove that your choice is right. Do not need to defend what has stolen your peace. You only need to draw near and say, "Father, lead me." A heart that knows how to ask for direction will not be abandoned at a crossroads. One who knows how to stop before a warning is not weak, but wise. I am not looking for perfection in you. I am looking for trust. I do not require you to understand everything before you obey. I simply invite you to place your hand in mine, so I may lead you through the parts of the road your eyes cannot yet see clearly. When you let me go before you, you will avoid traps covered with outward beauty. When you allow my word to weigh more than passing emotion, you will find your heart kept in clarity. Therefore, my beloved child, receive today's warning as a gift of love. Do not fear it, and do not resist it. Let it shine into the places where you are still uncertain. Let it filter the desires that are moving too quickly. Let it bring you back to true peace. I do not speak to make you shrink in fear, but to help you walk with open eyes, with an awakened heart, and with the certainty that you are carefully cared for by your Father. I am guarding you from things unworthy of the promise upon your life. I am protecting you from detours that could slow your sacred journey. I am placing around you signs, reminders, and little lamps, so you may know you are not walking alone. Listen to me, my child. Choose peace over haste, truth over fleeting emotion, obedience over the call of what has not yet been tested. And when you look back, you will understand that today's warning was not cold severity, but loving arms that kept you from what could have broken you. My beloved child, let your heart settle into peace, because what I am doing within you does not need permission from darkness, nor can it be delayed by the judgments of mankind. Do not tremble before the quiet voices that try to sow doubt into you. Do not let whispers in the night slow your steps. Do not allow memories of old disappointments to become chains binding your faith. I am the one who walked with you through seasons when you thought you no longer had strength to stand. I am the one who kept you through days when you did not know how to name your pain. And today, I draw near to you again, not only to comfort you, but to awaken within you a new steadiness, a new hope, and a holy courage to step into the path I prepared long ago. There are mountains before you that seem too high, but to me, they are only dust beneath my power. There are dry places in your life that seem as though they will never bear fruit again, but I can cause sweet waters to spring forth in the very place where no one expects it. There are doors you have stood before for so long, knocking until you became weary, yet they still did not open. But when my timing comes, one word from me is enough to make the bolts fall, the way appear, and the things that were once blocked begin to move. My child, I do not operate according to human fear, nor am I imprisoned inside the clock of the world. What I have appointed, no one can erase. What I have promised, no season of delay has the right to kill. What I have named blessing will eventually find its way to you in the fullness of my wisdom. Therefore, I do not see tonight as merely an ordinary night passing among countless other nights. There are moments in your life that I mark quietly, not with thunder rolling across the heavens, but with deep movement in the spiritual realm. Tonight may be the place where an old chapter closes, one you no longer need to return to. Tonight may be the place where invisible doors begin to open, where prayers that seem to have rested in silence are suddenly breathed upon by me with life, where dreams, once covered in dust, are wiped clean and begin to shine before your eyes again. You do not need to see everything immediately in order to believe that I am at work. A seed does not sprout with noise. It quietly breaks through the soil, quietly rises. And one day, people must marvel that such a small thing has become a strong tree. Remember the story of Elisha and the poor widow, the woman who had only a little oil in a jar and a heart full of anxiety because debt surrounded her. In the eyes of the world, everything seemed finished: an empty house, a nearly empty vessel, a dark future, and children who could be taken away to pay the debt. But I do not need a full storehouse in order to make a miracle. I only need something small placed in obedience. When the empty vessels were brought, the oil began to flow. It did not flow according to human calculation, but according to my abundant power. As long as there were empty vessels, the oil continued to pour. Do you see? What seems little in your hands can become the beginning of abundance when I touch it. The emptiness you fear may be the very place I am about to fill. The things you consider insufficient may become evidence that I do not need perfect circumstances in order to reveal my faithfulness. In the same way, do not despise what remains in your hands. Do not say that your faith is too small, your strength too weak, your opportunity too late, or your road too far. I do not require you to have every answer before I begin to work. I only invite you to open the empty vessels of faith, to open the rooms that have been shut because of wounds, to open the parts of your life you once thought could never be restored. When you dare to place your emptiness before me, I will show you that lack cannot make me poor, delay cannot make me late, and your helplessness cannot stop my hand from moving. You have cried many tears through the seasons of waiting, but your tears have not fallen into forgetfulness. I have gathered every drop, remembered every sigh, and heard even the prayers you did not have the strength to speak aloud. In the days ahead, you will recognize that certain things begin to open in a strange and wondrous way. Not everything will arrive in the shape you once imagined, but it will carry my mark: peace, clarity, right timing, and sustaining grace. Places that were blocked will receive a new flow. Meetings that seem accidental will become keys, opening a new direction. Small reminders will illuminate major decisions. Things you once thought had been denied may be answered by me in a higher, cleaner, more enduring way. You will understand that I do not overlook any prayer that rises from a sincere heart. I only arrange them into a time when, once answered, they will not only bring joy, but also build you in maturity. Do not let fear cause you to misinterpret my silence. Sometimes I am silent not because I have gone away, but because I am working where your eyes cannot see. Sometimes I do not open the door immediately, not because I have forgotten, but because I am preparing you so that when you pass through it, you will no longer carry old burdens that cause you to stumble. Sometimes I allow something to slow down, not to punish you, but to cut away haste, to teach you discernment, and to place within you a trust that does not depend on outward signs. My beloved child, true faith does not only sing when the dawn arrives. True faith also knows how to whisper in the night that I am still good, still near, still holding all things in my hands. And listen, when the breakthrough comes, remember that its source is me. Do not let the blessing make you forget the one who gives the blessing. Do not let an open door make you run so quickly that you leave prayer behind. Do not let the new flow cause you to lose the humility formed in the dry season. I am bringing you into a new chapter, not only so you may rejoice, but so you may become a living witness to my faithfulness. Others may have heard you speak of hope, but then they will see that hope take shape in your life. They may once have seen you wait in tears, but then they will see you walk with light upon your face. They may once have thought your story ended in difficulty, but I will continue writing it with the ink of grace. My child, keep your heart pure when the new thing comes. Receive it with gratitude. Walk in watchfulness, and let every fruit become an altar of thanksgiving. What I am preparing is not only an outward change, but an inner restoration, where you no longer live as one merely hoping to escape pain, but as one who knows they are being led into purpose. I will not only let you hear of my faithfulness through someone else's story, I will place gentle evidence in your hands so you may know that I have heard, sing, remembered, and acted. You will touch the things that once existed only in promise. You will see scattered pieces connected by me into a meaningful picture. You will understand that even the months that seemed like delay were not wasted, because I used them to prepare the foundation for something more enduring. So tonight, lift your head in peace. Do not fear the darkness, for I am the light with you. Do not fear delay, for my timing is never wrong. Do not fear what mankind calls impossible, for that is often where I begin my most beautiful miracles. Sleep beneath my protection. Wake with hope in your heart, and walk as one who knows they have not been forgotten. The new chapter is opening not by your own strength, but by my hand. The waters of blessing are finding their way toward places that were once dry. Old prayers are being awakened in a new season, and you, the child I love, will not only hear that I am faithful, you will live within that faithfulness. Breathe within that faithfulness, and carry the light of that faithfulness into the days ahead. My beloved child, do not fear the season of change. When old leaves fall, the tree is not dying, it is preparing for another season of blooming. When the water changes direction, it is not because the source has run dry. Sometimes I am leading it toward a dry field, waiting to be refreshed. When you no longer sit among the people who once felt familiar, it does not mean you have lost your place of belonging. Sometimes I am leading you toward people who know how to recognize the grace upon you without envy, who know how to see your wounds without contempt, who know how to hear your story without using it against you. They will not be perfect, but they will have hearts that are tender before me. They will not replace me in your life, but they will turn toward me with you. They will not demand that you pretend to be strong, but will remind you that even when you are weary, you are still completely loved by me. Let those who need to leave depart in peace. Do not curse them in your heart. Do not keep bitterness as a keepsake. Do not build a shrine to disappointment. Entrust them to me, as you would release a dry leaf to the wind, not with hatred, but with freedom. I will care for their part, and I will care for yours as well. Your task is not to control every ending, but to trust me in every new beginning. Your task is not to force others to understand you, but to allow me to lead you to where you are understood with respect and love. Your task is not to prove your worth before those who fail to see it, but to keep walking in quietness, because I have known you, called you, and kept you long before they ever appeared in the story of your life. And now, lift your head. I am preparing encounters that carry the breath of healing. I am weaving connections that will not drain you, but will strengthen you in gentleness. I am bringing people who know how to pray with you, hope with you, and stand firm with you through stormy seasons. They will not arrive loudly like a boastful drumbeat, but perhaps gently like morning dew upon the field. They will not need to take a place in your heart by force, because what comes from me always carries peace. You will recognize them not only by their words, but by the good fruit they leave behind: stillness, clarity, courage, holy joy, and a deep sense that you do not need to lose yourself in order to be loved. Therefore, my child, believe that everything I allow to leave you cannot steal the future I have appointed. The departure of one person does not have enough power to destroy my promise. The silence of someone else cannot cause me to stop speaking goodness over you. The door they closed cannot lock the path I open. Keep walking, even slowly, even trembling. As long as you walk in my hand, I am with you in this quiet space. I am with you when you remember. I am with you when you release. I am with you when you learn to love without clinging. And when the new season comes, you will look back and understand that I did not take away in order to make you poor. I cleared the way so you could live among truth. Be loved with healthy love, and be surrounded by people who help the lamp within you burn brightly until the days I have promised.